What's up, everybody? Hey, today I'm going to talk about box turtles. Um, box turtles, one of the coolest turtles you can find across the world. Different species, different subspecies. Today we're going to look at eastern box turtles and Gulf Coast box turtles. Now, one of the biggest difference in these are subspecies. One is Terrapene carolina. That's the eastern. This is a male right here. And the other is Terrapene Carolina Major. Now, if you look at this is a standard size eastern male. This is a standard size Gulf Coast male. See the difference? Gulf Coast get huge, a lot bigger. Actually, this one's about 9 inches. They get like 12 inches. They get huge. Now, for people who want box turtles as pets, in my opinion, the best box turtle that you can get is a Gulf Coast box turtle. They are the hardiest, the most friendliest, the most active, the easiest to, I guess, best characteristics. Easterns, very, well, except for this guy, a lot of them are shy. So if you're getting one to breed, you want a nice hardy turtle, especially if you live in colder climates and you're planning on keeping them outdoors. I'm gonna let this eastern walk over there a little bit. But here we have two Gulf Coast males. Now, Gulf Coast are awesome box turtles, very awesome. I've been breeding them for a long time now. Really cool guys. They're considered semi-aquatic compared to the other box turtles. They love the water. They love swimming in captivity and the wild. You need a lot of water for them. You need somewhere they can swim and have fun. Get that one, Lion. But these guys are absolutely, they'll come and eat out of your hand. I mean, they're just that cool. Easterns will do the same thing, especially if you've had them a while. But like I said, this is just an opinion of mine. If you're looking for beauty, Easterns by far the most beautiful of the box turtles. They come in all kinds of colors. Gulf Coast tend to be black, brown, and you can see here some blue, yellow, and white in them. This is my favorite one right here. This is my buddy right here. But now, sexing box turtles. A couple of things to look for when you're sexing a box turtle. There are physical traits that can tell you what sex they are, but they're not guaranteed. There's only one way to guarantee the sex of a box turtle, and that's to look at the tail. But the other traits, males generally have red eyes. Not always the case. But males generally have red eyes, females generally have brownish eyes. But don't go by that 100% because that can change. I've seen males with brown eyes and I've seen females with red eyes. A concave in the lower shell, right here. Males generally have that. I have seen females with them. So that's not always 100% accurate. But most males do have that. Other physical differences. Males generally have much larger heads. Female have narrow heads. But again, not 100% accurate. The best way to tell is the tail. Males have huge, long, thick tails. The cloaca is past the shell. And females have very short, stubby tails, generally. And the cloaca doesn't go past the shell. So that's the only way you can tell 100%. Between males and females. Also, if you decide to breed box turtles, in my opinion, the best way is an outdoor enclosure, big outdoor enclosure. But you need to dig up the eggs every breeding season, if you can. Sometimes you can't find them, depending on how many females you got and where they're laying. But because box turtles will eat anything that moves. If they see something crawling around much smaller than them, they will eat a baby box turtle. Seen it happen 100 times. Just like anything else, put a worm or cricket in there, they're going to eat it. If it moves, they're going to eat it. But the biggest misconception about these guys when people keep them, I see, is they look at them as tortoises. And these are not tortoises, they're turtles. And the biggest misconception with food I see is people try to feed them like they are tortoises. Now, I have some apples out here for them to eat, and that's fine. but they are not strictly vegetarians. I see too many things where people are just feeding them vegetables. These are actually in the wild far more carnivorous than they are vegetable eaters. They're omnivores, obviously, but they'll take fish, crawdads, worms, crickets, a lot of insects, snails, slugs, even their own young. Look it up. I think a lot of people think they have like a very small protein diet and it's bad to feed them a lot of protein. It's actually, I would say, especially in the wild, it's probably a 75% protein-based diet. You know, especially Gulf Coast. They love, especially water-based food, crawdads, crayfish, whatever you want to call them, worms, fish, small turtles. We even saw one. We saw one eating a dead squirrel one day. Anyway, so if you're planning on getting a box turtle, don't think it's just a vegetable eater. They're not tortoises. They are turtles. All right, now I got another male here because I wanted to show you something if you're interested in breeding box turtles. One thing you'll notice about when you're breeding box turtles, you can have one male for like 5 or 6 females. It's not a problem. When you start putting a lot of males together, or more than one, or you know, they're like roosters, or any male of any species, they're gonna fight, display dominance. Now, one thing these guys will do, if you notice, his shell's all busted up here, and that's from years and years of fighting with other males. They will literally, you can hear them, like they'll sit there and smash each other, and I'm talking this loud, and they'll break bones, bust up their shells all the time doing that. Some of them won't. This guy, he's one of the most dominant ones I have, and this guy, he doesn't really have any busted up shell or anything. But they will do that, and they'll also bite the shells. They'll get on the back like they're mounting a female and bite the back of the shell and rip, do it the damage they can. It's just a display of dominance, power, like fighting, just like males of any species in the wild. So you don't want to put a ton of males in there with females because they'll be constantly stressed out just fighting each other. You want to put a couple males, depending on how many females you have. If you have 2 or 3 females, 1 male, that'll do. But so just be careful with that because males are very dominant in turtles and they will fight. They'll fight over food, they'll fight over females, they'll fight just to fight. Must be something they like to do, I don't know. Alright, so in closing, look, turtles are awesome. So if you're looking into getting a turtle, especially box turtles, do your research. There are so many different species and subspecies. I think there's 4 subspecies of just the eastern box turtle, unless they changed. I don't know if they changed the Florida or not, but there are so many different species and subspecies. All of them are different. Gulf Coast do not live in the same environment as a 3-toed, and easterns, even the Gulf Coast and the eastern are a little different. And locality matters too. Like I said, Gulf Coast, these are panhandle Gulf Coast variety. The pale ones are the tan ones are like Louisiana. Different environments. These guys love water. The Gulf Coast love water, but other species are not huge in the water. Obviously they all need water, but not as much. These guys are swimmers. They love the water. They'll go in the water and just chill all day like a slider almost. But do your research because there's all kinds of box turtles. The Chinese box turtles, you got all kinds of Mexican species and subspecies, the Yucatans. You know, look into it. Any turtle you get, look into the species, how it works, how it reacts, especially if you're trying to breed them. These make great pets, in my opinion. These are very hardy, awesome turtles. In my opinion, belong in an outdoor enclosure. Unless you got a nice, good indoor setup, that's fine. But with breeding them especially, I think outdoor is the best. Pick a turtle that fits your personality. Pick a turtle that fits your lifestyle. And like I said, can't go wrong with the Gulf Coast.